What it do, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Scotty Says. He's me. And on today's episode, a special episode, episode 49, nearly to the milestone 50. But today, episode 49, a big one, a special one. This is part B, the companion to episode 48. And this is Rams Super Bowl 56 game analysis. And you know how I like to get into it. And so that is going to be coming up in just a moment or two. But in addition to game analysis, also projections and current events, updates. And so let's start there. Now, I hope you saw my last episode, episode 48. Game balls, Super Bowl game balls, the world champion LA Rams. And of course, as you know, and I've been chronicling the Rams' journey now, going back to the playoff run last year, Seattle and Green Bay, and the emergence of the Wolford and the divorce, the tension, and then the divorce between the golfer and Sean McGenius, and of course, the off-season, the demise, the exile of the golfer to Detroit, and the arrival of Matty from the D, the gunslinger. Now, here we are, just about a year later, and the LA Rams are Super Bowl champions. Champions of the world. And of course, kudos and congratulations to Mr. McWonder and the entire Rams operation. But let's get to current events and updates. Now, where we last left off, current events, as you know, I attended the Rams championship parade and rally, and I saw a lot of stuff, but what I did not see while I was making my way around was the incident with the photographer. And by now, you know, there's a photographer, see? And she apparently had been asked to take a few shots of Matthew Stafford and his wife, Kelly. And as she positioned herself and got the perfect framing for the shot, whoopsie, she went right off the edge of the stage and took a plunge, papaya, to the concrete. Now, immediately, and the cameras see, that's the thing, the cameras catch it all. And so the cameras were trained on this incident, this unfortunate accident. And what we saw was Matty from the D, who I, in my attempt to update nicknames last episode, I newly christened him Doc Julio, because at the parade and rally, he was swinging that Don Julio tequila, and it's expensive now. He was swinging it like it was Crystal Geyser on a hot day. He was hydrating for real. And it's morning time when this all started, right? Now, I'm certain that this is following up plenty of imbibing, let's say, from the night before. But I digress. When this individual who also happened to be named Kelly, the photographer, stumbled off the edge of the platform and crashed back first to the concrete. Doc Julio immediately said, "I'm out." It looked to me like his wife, Kelly, they were witnessing. They were posing for the picture when she went off the edge. They had the bird's eye view of it. Immediately. Now, I've always surmised now that Maddie from the D was haunted. Now, you know this. Go back now. But immediately, his instinct, his inclination, his action was to turn and get the hell out of there. I believe the camera, when they slowed it down, and it's like, the film. They slow it down and zoom in. And it looks like he says, "Oh my God." Turns, walks off. Like in the cartoons where you just see a little puff of smoke there where the person was. Now his wife, Kelly, goes to the edge of the platform from whence her namesake has toppled and looks over with concern and attempts to say something to her like, "You okay?" or whatever she said. But my point is, she showed her some humanity. And the captain, the leader, the quarterback of the LA Rams, Maddie from the D, Dr. Julio, got the hell out of there like he was in a Bugs Bunny commercial, a cartoon. So, to me now, that does say something about character now. And see, and here's another thing that says something about character, because the people who defend that behavior by this particular individual, if it was someone else, they would condemn it. But because it's someone they like, you see, it's how it works. If you like the person, then whatever they've done, you just say, hey, you could figure out a way to say, well, it wasn't that bad. So what they were saying, because I went on a tour of the palace. Yes. And I'll tell you about that in just a bit. But while they're I'm hearing these people defending him, saying his action, saying, well, he was drunk. And I'm like, you don't think his wife was too? And what does that mean? Why are you using the fact that he was drinking as a get out of jail free card for the fact that he showed her no humanity whatsoever? Well, he was drunk. So I guess then sort of that's like, if you've been drinking, that means you're absolved no matter what. Well, he had been drinking. So, I will just wrap it up by saying this. I think I'm sure that in this society, alcohol, the consumption of it, is glorified to such an extent that you are made to feel as though you have the problem if you don't partake of it. It's glamorized and romanticized in all the movies, in the commercials, in everything. It's in the culture. Let's have a drink. That's how everything, no matter where you go, the restaurant, as soon as you get to the restaurant, the first thing they say is, "Can I start you with a drink? Let me get you something from the bar." You just sat there. Okay, sure. Okay, you almost have your drink ready because that's the first thing they're going to tell you or ask you at the ball game. Anywhere, the movie theaters now, wherever you go, drink this, have it, drink it some more. And if you're celebrating, you see, in this society, if you're celebrating, you're supposed to be drinking. Now, I, full disclosure, will admit I've guzzled down plenty of alcohol in my day. Okay? So I'm not going to try to pretend that I haven't had many moist sips. Okay. But I see it now so clearly, and I just think people should be aware that alcohol is not just some entertainment potion. It has consequences now. It takes a toll now on you in a variety of ways. You know, like how they start putting the well, maybe they do put the warning on the alcohol bottle. This'll kill you. Go ahead, enjoy. And put some strawberry flavor on there. So listen, anyway, enough said. It's just that, I don't know. Maybe, I may be wrong. I thought that Soup, I call him now Super Cup. I thought that Soup probably didn't strike me so much as a drinker. But then I have a son, also like Father Shanahan, as it would be, coincidentally enough, named Sean. What it do, Sean? And he said, no, he probably has some wine in there, some J&J, Jesus Juice. And that may well be. But Soup, he sort of strikes me as someone trying to more or less walk the straight and narrow. At least those are the words he uses. You hear him when he speaks now. He's talking about being ordained in the Lord on high and all these things. So I imagine he's not necessarily like Polty. See, this is the point of where I'm going with this initial story. And I see now I'm going to have to make this its own separate episode and then make game analysis a different episode. I can see that now. But I'm concerned that Polty, this is Doc Julio I'm speaking of. I'm going to shorten that too. I think Doctor Who. Is that really any shorter? Doctor Who. Well, it does have a sense of familiarity to it, doesn't it? Doctor Who. It's better than Dr. Jekyll. Doctor Who. I'm concerned that he could be a poor influence on Soup. That's all I'll say. I'll put it that way. Because if Soup's trying to do it, the natural and righteous way, and then here's Doctor who has got the $900 tequila and the cigars and wants to stay up all night gambling and shooting guns. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And so you got two very different types of individuals, right? And when they come together, and it seems like now these two are tight now. Tight, you see. And one is going to rub off on the other more than the other will rub off on the one. I bet. And I think it's too late for Doctor Who to be converted to anything. You know why I say that? Because when Kelly toppled off the stage, Doctor Who was like, nah, not my problem. And I'm out. Okay? And so, that says something now. That says something about you. Well, he was drinking, see. I don't give a damn. She was drinking. She showed humanity. She went to see if the woman was all right. Doctor Who just wanted to keep kicking it. Okay? Now, as it turns out, the photographer who went over the edge and ended up with a broken back also happened to be a nasty-ass racist, a.k.a. a roach. And so, I mean, there were people saying, well, it looks like, she got a little bit of what was coming to her, Whoopsie daisy, oh my back. Okay, well, hey. All I'm saying here, ladies and gentlemen, is that at one point I had hoped that somehow coming to LA there would be an exorcism, you see, and the malevolent spirit of the poltergeist would be lifted. And I give Matthew Stafford credit now, and I do. And go back and watch the Tampa Bay episode. I said it then, and I'll say it again. He overcame not only the meltdown of the entire team, including the play caller around him, he overcame himself. And the old goat was standing right over there itching to get in. So, I've given you in Game Balls, the last episode, I've given you his fourth quarter numbers. He leads the NFL in quarterback ratings and numbers in the fourth quarter this season. So he's proven that he's clutch and that he can, since 2009, since he came into the league, he has the most game-winning drives. The most. That's winning. So, in-game winning is winning. Now, the other problem, though, is that he's lost more than he's won. On balance, you see. And so, it's hard to make a case to get in the Hall of Fame when you're below 500 for your career. But, fortunately, he is with McGenius now. And now, because then this is what I said when I predicted the Rams would go to this year's Super Bowl. Because I said if McGenius can do what he did for Jared, the golfer Goff, if he can do what he did for him, for Matthew Stafford, why, there's no reason why they can't win a Super Bowl, and therefore I am predicting it, and it came to pass. Okay? So, I don't question his ability to lead a team to a comeback win. He's shown he's fourth quarter clutch. Okay, I give you that. But the turnovers and the recklessness, is mind-numbingly frustrating. All the pick sixes. And that at some point, these kinds of mistakes are going to cost you games, and it's just a matter of when will it be. Will it be a one and done and bounced from the tournament? And fortunately for the Rams, they got this chip. And so I had hoped that there had been an exorcism. But Doctor Who showed his true colors at the rally. And I'm out. So now, there they are, right? Doctor Who, and Super Cup, and Modi was there, right? And their wives, right? So there they are, Vegas. You know, the three musketeers and families, okay? They're tight, the three of them, okay? And families, of course. And there was one, I saw one news clip where, or on YouTube or somewhere, where the three ballers had passed out and the three wives were red-faced now. And they were saying they were still kicking. In other words, they outlasted the men. And they went out. The three women, the wives, already drunk as skunks now. The alcohol, I'm telling you. And like, you know, what we saw with Aaron Donald. And they're young, they can handle it. All that drinking. You saw the bottle that Big A had, right? They shot. Now, I checked that bottle. I was curious. I was like, damn, that must cost $100,000. It was like, nope, $49.99. That one wasn't bad. It's just big. But, my point is, all this damn drinking. Okay. So, I hope that a young Super Cooper Cup does not become influenced to the detriment by and because of his association with a man who has been infested with the malevolent spirit known as the poltergeist. Now, you think I'm exaggerating. I know what you're saying. You know, why do you say this? But listen to his own words now. Doctor Who, listen to his own words. Okay? I take you back to the Tampa Bay game when he threw that pass. And it was a beauty. And it was right after he overcame himself because he tried to run and he fumbled. You remember it. And he reached out and pulled it back in because had he lost that fumble, the meltdown would have been complete. Game over. Rams eliminated. But he reached out and he pulled it in. And then on the very next play, papaya! Lightning strikes. And the pass floats so beautifully and drops right into the hands of Soup. And the Rams eliminate the old goat. But after that completion, when he was running down the field, and you could see he was talking to everyone and no one and himself. And I believe the poltergeist was running right beside him, you see, because I could tell he kept looking at him like, no, Polty, you won't have me today. I'm going to win. And his look was deranged. And after the game, in the interviews, Matthew Stafford, said his teammates told him that he went to a very dark place. Now that's the word, that's the quote. Okay? And he chuckled. And later, Soup in another interview said, no, I was concerned. He went to a dark place. I told him that. So Soup told him, What did they mean he went to a dark place? Who was he talking to on that rundown? I know he was yelling for his teammates, but did you see the expression on his face and way he was chattering there? Okay, go back and look at it. And when he spiked the ball, and the Rams were going to go on to win that game, Matthew Stafford later said in that interview that after that game, he said, sometimes you have to go to that dark place. And he went on to say, and it feels good to reach in and snatch someone's soul. That's what the man said. Now, I'm not making it up. Okay? You go check the tape if you don't believe me. But that's what he said. It feels good to reach in and snatch someone's soul. Oh, if that ain't the poltergeist talking, then I don't know what is. Okay? So, this dude is soul snatching. Soul snatching. Listen. I just would rather if Soup kind of stayed on salad and milk and, scriptures and everything, and just because he's doing so well like that. I don't want him to start drinking whiskey and smoking cigars and getting tattoos and gambling. You know what I mean? And in the strip clubs and everything with the poltergeist. I don't want to see it. But that's his buddy now, see? You know how influence is. So, I wish the best going forward. I wish the best for all parties concerned. Now, as I mentioned, I went on a palace tour. And let me just say, because this ties into the OBJ situation. I can envision a conversation between Soup and Sticky Fingers. In my mind's eye, I could see it and hear it. Soup and Sticky Fingers. And it goes something like this. Hey, yo, Soup. Why you don't spike the ball or, dance or something, man, when you score? Well, I think about the greats that came before me, and I don't really feel the need to. Yeah. But, put on the show. It's show business. The people came to see you put on the show. Well, I feel my work speaks for itself. Yeah. We all working, my dog. But, no tats? No. No dyed hair? No. And no cigars? No. No dancing? No. No spiking? No. Listen. My dog. We got to juice you up, man. Right, I don't want to be juiced. Yes, but, I don't feel comfortable unless you got some kind of juice, a little bit. They call it swag, my dog. Why, I know about the swaggy. Yeah, Well, okay, listen, here it is. We'll start you slow. When you score, when I see you, I'm going to run over to you no matter where you are now. I'm going to run over to you, and I'm going to pour out a cup, and you do it with me at the same time. Where will we get cups from? No, imaginary cups. I'm going to pull out an imaginary cup, and you're going to pull out an imaginary. You get it, cups. And so this is what we'll do. I'm going to run over, dap you up, and then we'll pour out the imaginary cups. Would you at least do that for me, man? Because I don't know if, I don't feel comfortable if I can't get some type of something out of you when you score. And that is the origin of the cup pour. When you see them, whenever Soup scores, OBJ and Soup pour out the cup. Or at least that's how I imagine it all came about. Anyway, Soup is the antithetical wide receiver. No flash, no dance, no taunts, no spikes. You know, he's humble. He just hands the ball back to the referee. I have to be honest with you. I kind of like it. It's so unique that it is kind of cool. All right. Don't let them change your Soup. All right. And hey, who knows? Maybe it will be Soup who changes Doctor Who. We'll see. I went to the palace. Yay. And I'm going to tell you what. The place is beautiful. They built a palace right in Inglewood. And I don't live very far away. In fact, when I go up on my roof and I fly my bird, I can see the palace. And I got to go in depth inside and got to run out on the field and throw some footballs. I threw several spirals. I surprised myself because they got the machines out there and you got to throw darts, and I was throwing darts and dimes. It was something about being out on that Super Bowl field. Man, that old athlete in me came right back out. Paya, paya, paya. Dropping dimes, spirals, tight spirals, not a duck among them. And then, I was rolling out. I was putting it down, okay? Taking long shots, deep balls, rolling out on the run, hitting targets. Okay, it felt good. I kicked a field goal. I tried a few more after the first one that went just snaked across. I tried a few more, but each one was worse than the one before it. And the last one was a dribble. Just rolled on the ground, and I was like, that's it. My toes started throbbing a little bit. So I was like, I'm good on that. I ran the 40. You don't need to know my time, but hey. I'm not going to even tell you. So, one of my takeaways from my palace tour, beside how beautiful it is and how much I really appreciate the fact that you could enjoy the game wherever you are there. I don't believe there's a bad seat in that place from the sightlines, from where I saw. Every place I sat down, I was like, wow, the field is right there. I didn't go up to the tippy top, but it whetted my appetite, folks. And I have said that the best seat in the house is on my sofa. I'm the guy on the couch. But I can also throw spirals on the field from the logo. I got on the shield, okay? But this is the point I really want to make. Beside all that, the place is outstanding. I went in the locker room. It's beautiful. The lights in the ceiling are in a spiral and they make a ram's horn. And just a gorgeous, gorgeous place. But with all of the magnificence and the lake and everything, the field is turf. The field is turf. And so it almost boggles my mind. And it really wasn't until I got out on that turf and ran around and I felt it. I didn't take a tumble, but I did, just got a feel for it. And that surface is rough. It's not grass. And why you would build the most palatial stadium in the world, state of the art, and yet not put grass in there. Stan K, a.k.a. Stank. I don't understand it. And I'm sure there's someone somewhere, a horticulturist or someone who will say, well, it's because of the level of the ground and the grass. You spent $5+ billion on the place. I think you can put grass in there. And I think, back on my microphone, I think the NFL should incentivize grass fields. If they can't mandate it, they can incentivize it by saying we won't play Super Bowls on any field that isn't grass. And I'll bet you they'd figure out a way to put grass out there then. And so to tie this all into OBJ, I can't help but wonder, had the Super Bowl been played on a grass field, would that ACL have gone out? You do your players a disservice by not having grass surface. And there are many stadiums that have grass surfaces. Bermuda grass, Kentucky bluegrass. But many others, like Jerry, like Stank, they go with this turf, this artificial surface. And it's probably costing your players. Turned out the OBJ injury nearly derailed the Rams offense and almost cost them the Super Bowl. So, in the name of all that is holy, Stank, put the grass in, man. Put the grass in. I often say, I wish he had Stan K. I wish he had invested the same amount of energy into winning when the Rams were in St. Louis as he does now. The all-in, gotta-win mentality. Didn't have that for many years there in St. Louis. Old Stan didn't. Because he had another play in mind. So he let the team wither on the vine. And that was unfortunate. But, I guess all's well that ends well, as they say. Stan K paid off a lot of money. Paid, I don't know, $1 billion nearly to the city of St. Louis as sort of a payoff. And he paid $5.5 billion for the stadium out of his own pocket. And he said, win at all costs. Buy, spend, whatever you need. Best team money can buy. Do what you gotta do. So, hey, it's good to see the fruits. And the fortunes really turned when he found the right man at the helm. And that is Coach McGenius. So as long as he's there, I feel good about the team. Now, clearly, I am going to have to make this a three-parter. Part C will be the Super Bowl game analysis. And so in this part B, how that fits, part C will be episode 50. There we go. Game analysis will be episode 50. So part B now, aside from the update, which I just gave you, also projections. So this is what I'm sort of getting the vibe on, what seems to be in the air. Now, I've seen Von Miller on a couple different shows and heard him in an interview or two since the rally, and he sounds more and more like he wants to come back. And if he wants to come back, he will come back, because it's up to him, because he could easily tell his agent, whatever they give you, let's do it. So it sounds like Von Miller, the Space Cowboy, woohoo! Aha! We'll be back. Okay? I hope anyway. That's how it sounds right now. And then, Aaron Donald sounds like, I'm not sure why he tied coming back to anyone else to begin with, but the feeling I guess I get is he values Aaron Donald values Von Miller to the extent that if Von comes back, I guess Aaron Donald will come back. Now, why he has connected the rest of his career to what Von Miller does or doesn't do, I don't know. But you see, Aaron Donald had plenty devil water over the course of the few days. So, enjoy. My projections. I'll just do this on the early tip. This is what I'm thinking. Vegas now has KC as the odds-on favorite to win Super Bowl 57 next year. And so my early prediction is that KC will not be in the bowl. I'm going to predict that the Rams actually do repeat and that they defend their title against the Buffalo Bills. And I predict, my early prediction is that Buffalo Bills will come into that game favored, and they will have an MVP quarterback, Josh Allen, as their quarterback when Super Bowl 57 kicks off next year, I believe, in Arizona. So that's my early predictions. Super Bowl 57, Rams repeat against the Bills and the MVP. All right. Now, this just happened today, and I don't even know why I bring it up, but it just occurred to me. I was at the market today, and I had on my Laker cap, just as so happens. I've been wearing my Ram cap quite a bit, you might have noticed. But as it turned out today, I had on my Laker cap, and now I never go to this market. I'm rarely in this part of town. I was a little bit going like easty, a little bit Hollywoody, but easty kinda. And I needed to pick up a case of water, and I saw the store, because where I was going to pick up my takeout, and it was a place I hadn't been before, but I needed to get a case of water. So I stop at the market. I get the case, I'm in a line, and I see a clown decked out in a Niner, them damn Niners, a Niner hat, a Niner jacket, and then like red colored pants with holes all in them. And the reason I really noticed him beside the clown colors was he was talking so loud. Yeah, what up? Yeah. Roaming through the store. Now, as fate would have it, some other guy has on a Niners hat. And he sees the guy and he goes, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What up, yeah. And they start this whole conversation. Primarily, the loud guy, you could hear him over several aisles. But the other guy was not too far behind me in the line waiting to check out. So I had to hear all of this. Whatever. I'm thinking about a lot of other things anyway. So as I'm checking out, now I overhear him saying, yeah, we weren't supposed to be there anyway. These are the things that fools do to help themselves sleep at night. They make excuses, you see. Excuses are the tools of fools. That's your word for today. Excuses are the tools of fools. Okay? So here's this fool. Yeah, we wasn't supposed to be there anyway. And so next year, and then they go into delusion. So you go from excuses to delusion. Next year, you see, then they start talking about, I believe we getting Aaron Rodgers. Okay, all of that, it's fine. But we are the champions of the world. I'm not going to even sing it. And I'm making my way out, so whatever. As I'm checking out, the fool, the loud fool, in the damn Niner gear, comes up behind me almost specifically for the purpose of saying, you might want to trade that Laker cap for a Clipper cap. And I immediately say, never. And then he says, yeah, but that looked like some bullshit you got on. And I was like, you got on the clown bullshit, my man. With that red garbage, you got drugged. You still here? He shouldn't have started me, see? Yeah, I'm talking about the Lakers. I'm like, no, I'm talking about that clown gear you got on. So I walked out. Fast forward, as I'm pulling out of the lot, I have it's cool out today in LA. Ooh, wind was blowing, and it was like the sun was going down, so it was like almost dark. I'm going to say it was 48, 47 degrees out there with the wind. And I got in my ride, and, heated leather hit the maximum seat heat. And I pull out on the 3rd Street, and I see the clown with the holes in his pants, holding this little grocery bag with a little shiver at the bus stop. He waiting for the 105. Oh, clown gonna do what a clown gonna do. At any rate, I really, really, really digress. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I do want to remind Mr. McWonder that Brandon Powell is a wide receiver. You do not have to rely on hands and toes, McGenius. Mr. Powell can handle it. Give him a little run, sir. But we'll save that for Super Bowl game analysis coming up in episode 50, milestone episode. And so until then, throw me one of these now. Please, leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. Oh, and before I go, I just want to add now, for those of you out there who say that the Rams don't have any draft picks and they don't draft and they don't care about picks and F them picks and all of that business. Okay, just bear in mind now, the Rams do have draft picks and they have made their mark picking very well in the later rounds. And that is where they're really thriving. And as an example of that, I just want you to bear in mind that, as you know, LA drafted Aaron Donald, and as you know, LA drafted Cooper Kupp. Now, Cooper Kupp was drafted in the 3rd round, 2017. He's on Hall of Fame track. In 2018, the Rams drafted Sebastian Joseph Day. They drafted him in the 6th round. In 2019, the Rams drafted Taylor the Rapper in the 2nd round. They also drafted Darrell Henderson in 2019 in the 3rd round. They also drafted in 2019 Greg Gaines in the 4th round. And in 2019, they drafted Nick the Thumper Scott. That's my new nickname for Nick Scott. Nick Scott puts a thump on you, the Thumper. They drafted Nick Scott 2019. 7th round. 7th round. Okay? So that's an art and a skill to be able to draft guys that make a contribution like that in those later rounds. And then in 2020, they drafted Cam Akers. They drafted Van Jefferson in the 2nd round. They also drafted Bryson Hopkins in the 4th round. In 2021, they drafted Ernest Jones, super rookie, 3rd round. So they only have, this year, in 22, they only have 3 draft picks, I believe. And none of them are before the 5th round. So I'm extremely curious to see what the Riverboat Gambler does in this year's draft with limited picks this spring. But you know we'll be back to chop up a lot more Rams talk prior to that, starting with the big extravaganza, episode 50. Super Bowl 56, game analysis. The LA Rams, champions of the world. Coming up next, that'll be part C. So, in the meanwhile, throw me one of these. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. Do you think I have it right? Will LA repeat? And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And until I see you the next time,